Hey guys, what's up? All right. It's Double Deuce back with another episode of Radio Out of Control. Well, I'm good. I've been working on the Hg-p407 a little bit more and more. And I've been trying to come up with a couple of different fixes, I guess, that are, kind of a bucks down repair where you're not shelling out a lot of money. So I already did the rear end mod, and now I'm going to do some wheel adapters and tire size comparison. So anywho, here we go. And we're back. So the wheel adapters I found, I imagine everybody's probably heard of this company. It's in Taiwan. It's Rc Channel, and they make some shocks, and they made some wheel adapters. Now, I don't know if they still make the wheels or not. I did not see them on their website. But they make two different styles of wheel adapters. One, this here is for the older first release bruiser. And you can see it's got the oval, and it looks more like a brake drum, and it takes the big bearing. Now this will fit on the re-release and the Hg-p407. So the wheel combination, I had already went over you guys with the wheel combination, and so I want to get to yank this wheel off real quick here so you guys can see the other adapter that they make. And this one here is more of a straight up see, get a close up on it there for you guys. It looks more like a disc brake, but it just bolts over top the existing hub with the 3 bolts. You see the 3 bolts there? That one was stripped out, so well, actually, no, it wasn't stripped out. They sent me these countersunk 3mm bolts or screws, and this one wasn't even threaded, so I had to use my old thing in there. But it doesn't matter; you can use them if you want. The only problem I seen with these is the bolt pattern. Okay, so the bolt pattern's a little weird. It's a little bit bigger than your standard 6-lug bolt pattern. Now these take the 2mm screws, that they have and all that, and so do these. Take 2mm. They're just a hair, I should say, the circles are just a hair bigger. And so I had bought, which I went over the video last time, I had bought these wheels here. Okay, they're in Hg C26 869 gray. They're black and gray. Okay. Now inside the hole in here, all I had to do was take a drill bit that was just a hair bigger than the hole. I think it was like, according to my snap-on set, it was 2 sizes up from the hole. It was because they're like micro drill bits. And 1/8 of an inch is way too big, so don't do that, because the head of your 2mm screw here, there we go, the head of that thing is going to fall through the hole. So whatever you do, make sure your drill bits is not any bigger than that head. Okay. And so you say, this is the rim that I had done that to. See, I just touched them just a little bit, and they fit pretty good. So anyway, so the cool thing about this, being that these trucks really didn't have 4-wheel disc brakes on them, you could remove this. Okay, now I've got the front rear end turned around back here. Remember I told you about that mod? You can buy these rear ends for about 30 to 40 bucks online. And all I did was I flipped it around, and like my last video, where the leaf spring pod sets here, the lower bracket, it sets almost up tight against the spindle, so it doesn't turn. It's tight. It's got a little slop in it, but it doesn't turn. And then what I ended up doing here, this was on top, so it was hitting the leaf spring, so it bound the leaf springs up. So I just turned around and put them on the bottom. Now, one problem I did have is in these here were so tight that they both broke off the ball. And I later found out that sometimes they load them up with Loctite, sometimes they don't. So just take something and heat that up a little bit. Lighter or something. Be careful when you do it. And then that way there, it'll release the Loctite enough for you to get it out. So anyways, back to the cool thing about these is, if you continue to keep the wide rear end in it, you still can. And this here actually sets in further than this adapter here. Now, you've seen the 12mm adapters they make, and they're gargantuous. They set like way out here, and these set way in. And like I say, I spent many hours on the old interweb there trying to come up with wheel combinations for this. And I found these in Hg wheels, and as you can see, the back spacing on them is really deep. Okay, it's way in there. Most of them are about midway through the rim. These are, these have still a nice dish on the front, but yet if you look at the very back, they're way in there, and this will set right up against this. Block this up a little bit here. It'll set right up against that, and it gives you your normal wheelbase in the back, so the wheels ain't all hanging out. And so if you use the Y one, you can put the drum brake on the back. These are 20 bucks or $19.99 or something like that. And so I ordered a set of the discs, and I ordered a set for the old school bruiser. And like I say, they both fit on these. So the only reason they said that was because of the bearing sizes here were different. And this here, I don't know if it'll fit the original bruiser or not. I don't see why it wouldn't, because it's got enough room back here for this. But anyways, long story short, if you put these on the front, these on the back, you have disc drum set up. You can have a disc drum set up, and you'll be able to see it through your wheels, so it'll look pretty scale. And speaking of scale, I don't know about you guys, but I feel the perfect wheel or tire for this truck is around 120 millimeters. Okay, I believe the originals were 123, but I don't know. I've measured. I have about 30 pairs of the original Bruiser and Hg-p407 tires, and I've measured them all, and I come up with different measurements on almost every one of them. Sorry, I got distracted there. Anyway, so I got these tires here from Walmart, W-O-M-A-R-T on eBay, and I don't know, they're pretty cool, you know, and they're nice and, you know, they're not really sticky, which is a good thing. And with the foams in them, they have a nice solid, you know, they don't sag and go flat, because the truck, you know, it is a metal truck, it'll get heavy. So these actually set pretty good on there. And with the tire combination, the adapter combination, and the rear end mod, I finally can rest now. I can move on to something else. My life is, you know, it's been complete. I've been to the mountaintop now. I've figured out the wheelbase problem in a cheap manner. Now, if I can only fix the steering, I'll be fine. But that'll be my next venture, is to try to come up with some steering setups. I know the front servo is cool, but this truck just deserves a steering box. I'm telling you, and it can be done. It just, you know, a simple steering box that comes out and goes down. You put your steering in the front, and it totally eliminates the front servo mount and all that crap up there, and you can bring the servo back and actually set it up under your steering wheel, and somehow you could probably attach it to your steering wheel. So when the servo turns, the steering wheel turns, and so does the steering box. So you should be able to do it all. You should be able to reach in the window and turn the steering box, and just like turning your servo. That's what I've been trying to work on. And so that'll be, like I say, I've searched and searched for micro gearboxes and stuff, and it seems like the smaller they get, the more expensive they are if they're metal. And like I say, everything on this truck, you know, other than the body, should be metal, because it's just the nature of the truck. It was built that way, and it's got that reputation. That's why I was so happy with these adapters, because they're metal. They're not, you know, the 3D printed off ones that not everybody can get their hands on. Everybody in the whole world has an opportunity to get online and go to rcchannel.com and on the old web there, and buy these adapters for $19.99. And that's, you know, that opens up the playing field for everybody. So anyway, like I say, any questions, comments, or something like that, feel free to hit me up. You know, any questions on any of the mods, you know, other things like that. I know I'm probably going to get some questions on like the stock rims on the back. I mean, you can buy, Vanquish would sell rims like this, and Hg sells rims like this, and I think there's a couple other manufacturers that sell just a wheel with the bolt-in 12mm hex. And you know, like I say, the 12mm hex, unless you can figure out a way to bolt it, you know, to this somehow, you know, you know, like I say, the mind's endless. Somebody can do it. Somebody will figure it out. Because I know they did that on the 12mm hex conversion for the Bruiser, the 2012 re-release Bruiser. They did that. It's basically a hub like this with a 12mm hex molded on the outside of it and a bearing. And like I say, they set it in enough where you have to change the axles, because if not, it would stick way up because of the axle and that little slot there. So anyways, like I say, like, share, subscribe if you want. Any questions, comments, feel free to throw them out there at me, and I'll try to get back as soon as I can. And I hope you guys had a great weekend. And I'm signing off for now. So this is Denny. Adios.